Hello guys, welcome back to Beyond the Credits. This is episode 5 and needless to say, it's been a while.
It has been a while since we last filmed.
We're going
to do our top 5 films of 2025. We're going to go from 5 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do a bit of a back and forth. I'll do my 5, you do your 5.
Yeah.
Well, your
Should we do
5?
5?
4.
Yeah. And we don't know each other's.
No,
we have
don't.
ideas.
We have ideas, yeah.
And
we
I
have
think-
suspicions, but...
And I do think that some of ours will be the same.
Yeah, I thought it was good doing them because I kind of forgot how good some of the films were. Like, I kind of knew when I started that I was going to put a certain film at number 1. However, then I rewatched it, another film, because it came on streaming, and then I started writing about it. I was like, you know what? That's going to go
number 1.
Number 1.
Oh, I'm intrigued now. I'm trying really hard not to glance at Ella's notes.
Yeah,
I'm really
sorry,
excited
I'm
to know.
now.
I feel like I'm the order of them as well, so it will be 5, 1 being obviously our faves. And it's been a great year for films. So.
It has. I mean, disclaimer, not a lot has come out in the UK so far.
We're starved. Yeah. Or they're all coming out now, and we're like, right, we're going to the cinema then. Yeah. Then.
Literally. Like I'm going to the cinema 3 times this week.
I'm going tonight.
So there's a lot of stuff that will probably be in our 2026 top 5 films.
Yeah,
that we're watching in January. But so it's just the way it's just
crumbles, isn't it?
Yeah,
you're deserting us. Why are we always last?
I know.
Literally.
Anyway, so I'll start.
You go. What's your number 5 then, babes?
My 5th one is The Smashing Machine.
Nice.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this film. I do tend to like every single film that A24 produces.
Yeah.
So I kind of knew that I would enjoy this film. I thought one aspect that really stood out for me was the fact that it was filmed on film.
Yeah.
I think with the Safdie brothers, you're always going to get a very uniquely filmed experience when you go to the cinema. I'm really glad I saw it in the cinema because I think seeing it at home, it just probably wouldn't have hit the same.
I agree with that.
Because it's quite not tons happens in this film.
No.
Like in terms of story, well, there's an arc obviously, but there's not like it's not very action packed like a lot of films have been this year.
It just sort of exists in the life.
But it's a real life story. So obviously not a lot is going to happen because not everyone's life is like that. But so I think definitely one of the standout elements for me was the cinematography. It was shot mostly on 16mm film, which the Safdie brothers do tend to use quite a lot, which I really liked. I also liked the lack of intrusion with the film, meaning I quite liked how he almost like filmed it round corners. Like we were sneaking up, like we were snooping on this couple's downfall and their home life. And I think that was a really nice element. I did like that. It wasn't in your face. You weren't getting like the big... I mean, we got the close-up shots.
I felt like I shouldn't have been there when I was watching it.
Exactly. Yeah. I think it really enhanced the intimacy of the story as well. I think both lead performances were great. I thought I was really surprised with how much I enjoyed Dwayne Johnson's performance. I was worried, was I just going to see The Rock on screen a lot like some of the other films that we've seen this year that we've talked about on here, but I really liked his performance. I think the prosthetics really helped, obviously, because it did take away from him looking like his normal self, obviously, but I think he brought a lot of fragility to the character. I think a lot of it was in his eyes. He told so much of the story with his eyes, and I think that for me is a real great metric of like good acting. So.
Yeah, he was really good in it. It's sad that I think because of like how renowned he is and the fact that he does so many films in a certain like genre, he doesn't really get the props and the like chance to really show them like acting chops.
No, exactly. I think he's in
really
Jumanji
good.
And stuff. It's not like it's a groundbreaking performance. So I think the physicality, the subtle facial expressions, the way he uses his eyes, which I've obviously just mentioned. I did wish there was more scenes on screen with Dawn.
Yeah, same.
Like she was good.
I loved her in that.
I really wanted more. I thought Emily Blunt was amazing.
So good in it.
I thought the ones that we did get were very effective. I think every performance she does is very solid. She's like you know that she's going to get a good.
She's just so good
performance. So I think the Gump scene in particular for me was really outstanding. There was genuine gasps in my cinema screen when we saw that. Everyone kind of went, and it's not a very, we're not where we live. It's not a very, like my experience at the cinema, it's not very vocal.
No, it's not.
It's not like it was at the film festival. No, I also loved the soundtrack of this film. You know me, love music in film.
Yeah, so, makes or breaks for you, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And it kind of does for me a bit too.
The soundtrack in Mighty Supreme, which I saw last night.
I'm so excited
it's really, really good.
It tonight.
But Don't Be Cruel was used by Billy Swan. Loved that. Loved that. Yeah. But yeah, I think overall, the colours of the film, the cinematography, the direction by Safdie, I think it all came together really nicely, and just the whole entire vibe of the film worked for me. I think I'll definitely give it a rewatch when it comes out onto streaming, but I put it at 5 because looking at my other 4, yeah, I did prefer them a little bit more. Like I would probably be more inclined to go and watch the other 4 over this one. However, I do appreciate that it was a very good film.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's my number 5.
My number 5 is Wicked for Good.
Okay.
My number 5 was Wicked for Good. Like you, I put it at 5 because I was like, there's other films I did enjoy more. And I think because I knew, I'd seen the musical first and foremost. I knew what I was getting into. I was intrigued more so of how it was going to follow on from the first one. And for me, I love the fact that it just felt like a film in its own entirety. Like provided with maybe another half an hour of contextual elements at the beginning, it could have stood as its own film. I love the kind of character dynamic and how it shifted between Elphaba and Glinda. I thought Ariana Grande's performance, for me, I saw a bigger and perhaps more detailed sort of like shift from the Glinda in the first one to the second one. I thought there was a really stark difference between Glinda, the good witch and the leader and the one that everyone's looking to, as opposed to Glinda, the student and the child, and the way she just played those elements of like strength and vulnerability and just like angst and frustration and love in the same bracket. You know, you could say the same for Cynthia Erivo. I just thought like the massive mirage of emotions that she was able to depict, whilst also honouring like the history of Glinda and like the things that we might not like know as much about her. I just thought that she played it so well. And when you consider the fact that they literally were filming different films on sometimes on the same day.
The fact that they did them back to back.
The way they could switch and see these different like modes of who the characters were. I just thought it was so cool. I mean, I do think I really would love to see Ariana Grande win Best Supporting.
Yeah,
I really do think she deserves it.
I hope she wins at least one award this award season.
Really do.
I don't know whether the Oscar's going to be beaten to her. It was a shame because last year I was thinking, oh, she's not going to win the Oscar because we've got next year.
Yes.
It takes away the excitement I thought for just in general. But I did come out of that thinking she needs an Oscar.
I just loved the way
she was fab.
There was such a hyper sense of vulnerability with the way she depicted Glinda, and I just thought, you know, I think it's something for me. I found it more noticeable because it was really unexpected for me, and I feel like Elphaba's the one who we kind of the film is. She's like the epicenter of the film almost, and I feel like that kind of arc of Elphaba and the way in which she changes and grows and where she ends up. It's so evident. Like we know what's happening, and it's a story about these two women, but primarily Elphaba. So I did, when Ariana Grande brought out all them chops, I was so surprised. Loved the original songs as well.
Yes.
Loved the original songs. Everything that I loved about the first film, the set design, the production design, like I just thought was stunning. It was so bright and vibrant and enticing, and it had to be watched on the big screen. Like, I mean, listen, you could stick it on telly now and you had to sit there and all. Like, I watched Wicked the other night.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is such a wonderful film to behold.
It is made for cinema.
And it's great. And I also think there's more, like, elements within the second one, like, about the plot and how it all rounds up and everything that kind of, how it all comes together and what we discover about certain, you know, people, the wizard, Madame Morrible, and I just think
I think it did need to be a bit more plot heavy, this one, because in the first one you have all the good songs, the songs that everyone knows from the musical, and I feel like I was kind of thinking, wow, they're doing it in 2 parts. Well, if they're ending on Divine Gravity, then you've not got too many songs to work with. So I think it was a more plot heavy film. I did enjoy it. That it's not on my list, but I did really enjoy it.
I think what made it in my top 5, made it just to number 5, is probably the For Good scene. I cried like a baby. I loved it. And I did. And Jonathan Bailey's shirtless, so it's like
so true.
So that was my number cardigan. 5. I know.
Love that.
Yeah, what gift to be the cardigan.
My number 4, and I'm not sure if you've seen this, is Saturday Night.
No, it isn't. Oh my God, yes, I remember you telling me you were going to see that.
I saw it
nice.
I think I saw it in January.
Yeah, you saw
at
it
the start of the year when it first came out. I think it maybe came out in the US in 2024, but yeah, here it came out in 2025. I saw the casting being announced for this film and I thought, okay, I'm aware of SNL. Like, this is a film, if you don't know, it's based on it's set on the first night that SNL is about to air live. And it's set all in one night, which I loved. I thought the casting was absolutely impeccable. Rachel Sennett and Gabriel Abel played the 2 leads, and I thought they were real standouts, not just because they were leads, but I just thought they were just, they melted into those characters. The actor portraying Chevy Chase was genuinely uncanny. I was literally like, how have you managed to, like, how is there actually someone that is that good at acting but also looks so much like him? I thought everyone felt perfectly aligned with the figures that they were playing. I know there's a wealth of like existing material that they can draw from, but I don't think it ever felt like anyone was doing an impression of their characters. I thought it was a real true embodiment. So I think it's props to the ensemble of actors that they cast for that. I thought it was cast down to a T. I loved the fact that it was set all in the few hours before the first episode went live. I loved the chaotic feel that they brought, that they managed to,
watch it.
They honestly, you genuinely felt like you were there. I thought the framing of that gave the story a real sense of authenticity and urgency, especially capturing like all the chaos and excitement of like what would actually go before that. But I thought the overall energy, for me, it was like a perfect film that I would enjoy, because it's based on something that's I find interesting anyway, because I do find like, the making of live TV is just interesting anyway, but especially something as iconic as SNL.
That's why I like Rivals.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, I just thought the whole thing was great. I think if you're a fan of SNL or not, or if you're aware of SNL or you watch it, I see like clips and stuff, but I think it's a very entertaining film. And again, the music in that fab, but I think it's owed to the cast.
When did that?
75.
Right.
Because it's 50 years now.
old. Yeah. Ah, okay. Oh wow. I don't know why I thought it was older.
I just really enjoyed that film. So
there you go.
It was good. You should watch it. You need to watch it.
I actually feel like I should. No, I need to watch that one. My number 4 is Steve.
Nice. I still haven't watched this.
Oh, I really enjoy it. I'm just trying not to spoil it for you, but I just loved it. I thought first and foremost, the runtime was brilliant, because there's certain films that I've watched this year that could have easily been in like this slot that were great, but they did not need to be that long.
They felt like the runtime,
yeah, like they were just way too long. This is like an hour and a half, an hour and 40. I feel like it kind of, the film had this sense of confidence and like it knew itself and knew what it needed to say and it knew how long it needed to be. And I just really enjoyed it. It's also set in one day. It literally follows Cillian Murphy's character Steve as he is trying to basically grapple with his own sort of emotional like trauma in his own. He's literally having a breakdown the entire day, and he's literally he brings such a pressure cooker energy to it. The fact that he is the headmaster of this like all boys boarding school where these lads have gone there because they've been kicked out of regular school and like, no one's literally in their corner, and it's just such an engrossing, compelling watch. It's got such a massive mix of energy to it. There's elements of humor to it that I didn't expect. I thought it was really it had such a naturalistic quality to it, like the dynamic between all of the lads in the school, whether they're fighting, whether they're like, doing nothing. It was sat in class. I just thought it had such a real essence to it. Cillian Murphy is phenomenal in it. He is phenomenal. He's so unnerving to watch.
Really?
His character, the way, I don't know if you've seen it in the trailer, but there's a bit where he's being filmed and he's like saying, he just says, "Oh, I'm very tired." And in that moment, you're like, throughout the entire film, he gradually starts to kind of get to a point where you either think he's going to like just combust or just crumble. Like he just is so magnetic, and he's so unnerving to watch. The lad who plays, what's his name? I can't remember his name. Jay Lycurgo. I can't pronounce his surname. He plays kind of the main lad, one of the main students who they kind of focus on, and like his dynamic with Cillian Murphy's character is kind of the main arc of the film.
Okay.
And he meets him.
Really?
He really meets him. He's such a talented young actor.
Oh, wow.
And I think this is his first, what might be his first film, I believe.
Okay.
Really, really good. I really liked the one day structure of it. It had like a big pressure cooker sort of facet to it. And there were certain elements of the film that just is so angering, and they make you so invested. There's a particular scene where an MP comes to the school to see these boys, and another kind of plot device, which was really clever that they interwove into it, was a film crew coming to the school to film these lads and see how they're living, why they're there, what's led them there. And it's done in a way that really kind of exemplifies the lack of compassion and the lack of empathy with which we view young people, young men, people who are in a certain situation, whether it's, familial and family issues, or, class can come into it and finances can come into it. And people just end up in certain situations, and they end up being a certain, lesser version of themselves through things that aren't their fault, especially when you're young and you haven't got a bit of a North Star of a human to kind of guide you somewhere. It's difficult. And I think that film really empathizes with that. And I like the fact that it also celebrates the fact that they've got so many individually good qualities, And, you know, there's some really funny moments in it. There's some really there's some really not funny moments in it, you know. It really portrays these boys with a level of complexity and nuance that I think it was really warranted. You know, it doesn't turn it into a pity party for them. They don't get away with some of the things that they do, and they are proper shits. But they've got Steve, Cillian Murphy's character, at the helm, sort of like talking to the camera and going, no, they are. There's brilliant elements to them.
He can see the good in them, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, it's such a good film. And the last half an hour, I won't say anything, obviously not seen it. It is like the pace of it is so cool. Okay. Like the way what happens with Shy, the character, the main student, and then Cillian Murphy's character, and how it all comes about, and the ending, like it got better and better and better. It had something really like potent and like necessary to say. So I enjoyed. There you go.
Fab. Okay.
Number 4.
My third film is Bugonia.
Okay, not seen it. Not seen it yet.
So it's a Yorgos Lanthimos film. So I did go in expecting a certain level of weirdness.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of his work. I think my favourite film that he's done is The Favourite. However, honourable mention to The Lobster. Have you seen The Lobster?
No, I haven't. Colin Farrell.
Yes.
I need to see that, but I've seen The Favourite, and I love Poor Things.
Yeah.
I love that.
I did really like
set
Poor
design
Things.
on that one, really.
Yeah, set and costume design, insane.
Mega.
I came out of this absolutely loving it. I didn't think I'd love it as much as I did. I think the performances, especially by Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, were outstanding. I think Plemons in particular really blew me away. I thought I don't know, maybe it's because he's not really an actor that I'd see him in a film and go, oh right, I need to go and see that film. Like he's not up there for me. However, like everything I have seen him in, he's been good. Like I think most recently I probably saw him in like Power of the Dog. And I enjoyed him in that, but I didn't come away from the film thinking, oh, he was a standout. But in this, I thought he played, like, I actually came out thinking, is that just you in real life? Because he played it so well. Like he plays this just crazed man who's just so obsessive with the plot. Well, the plot is basically that they think Emma Stone's an alien and they kidnap her because they're massive conspiracy theorists. Him and this other character
that is very Yorgos Lanthimos.
Yeah, whose name escapes me. The boy who went alongside him, but again, I thought he was fab as well. I think visually, he, alongside his trusty cinematographer Robbie Ryan, they never miss. Visually, it was so. I love the way that Yorgos Lanthimos, and Robbie Ryan, they do a lot of far away shots, kind of like you're looking at them from the bushes or looking at them from a very far away place, like as if you're not supposed to be there. And I love that element because I just think, exactly, it adds to the weirdness and the creepiness and the oddness. I thought the colour palette, the framing, the use of space makes his films such a spectacle to watch. I really enjoyed it. I did go into it fairly blind. Like I obviously knew that the premise was that they kidnap Emma Stone because she's this massive CEO. They think she's an alien because they're massive conspiracy theorists. Like they don't have much else going on in their life. Like this is clearly everything that they've given their attention to. But it was so odd, but it was so good. And I think only knowing the basic premise of the film just made the ending and the story arc just all the more better. But yeah, I just really came out of it thinking I really, really, really loved that film. I thought, Emma Stone, again, she's another actor. You go in and she never misses. She's always so strong. Visually, it was great to watch, and you think, oh, is it going to be sci-fi? Is it going to that's not that genre's really not one of my favorites. No, I don't tend to like films where things can't happen in real life.
We like human stories.
But this was an exception for me because nice. I came out of it really liking it. I went with my mum and I kind of warned her beforehand, being like, oh, it's going to be weird, and she was like, yeah, she's just down to see anything. But it was so good. So that is my number 3. I really enjoyed that film.
Begonia might be in that. Yeah. My number 3 is Nuremberg.
Nice.
Have you seen Nuremberg?
I have seen Nuremberg.
I really liked it. I am a sucker for a war film, a World War II film especially. And this was an area of that particular part of history that I knew about vaguely, but the way in which the film goes into detail about the trials and tribulations of getting these men actually on trial and kind of the intricacies and the difficulties of what went with actually bringing them to court was so interesting to watch. I like the detail with which it kind of maneuvered around that. The film really rides on all the performances, I think.
Yes.
I think it's I don't know about you, but when I was watching it, I was like, it was a very cat and mouse sort of dynamic between Rami Malek and Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe is outstanding in this film.
Insane.
Everything he said, I was like, people were eating popcorn near me, and this is a loud cinema. Like, but I was like that. Like, he's so engrossed. Yes. He's so evil. He's so narcissistic. But I love the fact as well that he's a master manipulator, and you can see how on earth he's managed to become such a high-ranking like Nazi officer. Like, it's just, he's vermin, literal vermin. But Rami Malek's character is also so arrogant and so kind of like certain of the fact that he's gonna be able to waltz in there and kind of do the job that he's been tasked to do, which is declare whether these men are fit enough for trial. And actually, there's moments in it where I thought the dynamic was so cool, because you thought that Russell Crowe, you thought that Goering was going to eat like Douglas Kelly for dinner.
Yeah.
And he's kind of getting him to do things like that he wants him to do, go into, send messages to his family.
Wife, yeah.
He's like, he thinks he's got one over on him, kind of like, doing these magic tricks is like kind of a therapeutic sort of like vice through which you can get into his head. And it's just like, it was such an interesting power play.
It was.
And when you look at the ensemble cast as a whole, it was like a 2-hour hander, embellished with such amazing performances.
Like Leo Woodall
was
that
scene at the train. Another thing as well that I loved. The fact
he was amazing.
Did you find when you were watching it? Because I was like, at the start, okay, he's there, he's taking Rami Malek's character in. He is like, for a long time, I'm thinking, why is he? He doesn't really do much. Why is he here? And that scene at the train station, and when he's crying, watching the videos in court of the camps. I was like, I love the way it kind of waited to like towards the end to reveal that. And it's like, it was so emotional, that moment. I love that particular scene. I thought the courtroom stuff was incredible.
Yeah, the courtroom was done so well. Michael Shannon in those scenes. Wow.
Richard E. Grant, when he pops up at the end when he can't nail him. Michael Shannon can't nail him, and he just kind of takes over. Oh, it was so cool. I loved the structure of that. There were moments, don't get me wrong, like, I mean, I know it's my number 3, but like, there were moments where I thought, okay, this is looking a little bit flat now. Could it have been 15-20 minutes shorter?
Probably.
Maybe. Or could it have been perhaps embellished with a little bit of a difference in like the structure of it, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Like, it didn't flow as much in the maybe middle.
I didn't come out of it thinking it was, that was so long, that could have been a lot shorter. I think they did use the time well. Whether they could have shortened some scenes to shave a few minutes off it, maybe, because some scenes I was kind of thinking, okay, move on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I did put in my Letterboxd review for this, just a simple one-liner, SAG Actor Ensemble Award.
100%.
Needed.
It has to be.
Because I think that's such a... I mean...
Yeah. It all rides on the cast.
Have the SAG nominations come out yet? No,
I don't think they have. But it all rides on the cast.
It really does.
They went to town with it. I loved it. I loved the use of colour. Like, it felt so bleak and like grim and so grey. I think like the set design was really, really amazing. I loved the fact that it was so relentless and so kind of hell-bent on really targeting and exposing the horror of this period in history and the actual the parasite men and people who were at the helm of this regime. It doesn't forgive anyone. It's also so to the bone with who they are as people, like the complexities of them, but the sheer sort of just horror with which they inflicted pain on so many people. I thought it was just so cool, and I just thought it was so gripping from the beginning, like that first scene where they pick him up and they're like, oh, okay. But yeah, I thought it was an amazing sort of exploration of the extent to which we can kind of fully like grapple with evil, and whether we will fully ever be able to understand it. You've got a medical professional, a psychiatrist, who is tasked with doing just that, and he can't, and all we're left with at the end is the message of we need to never not look back and not remember that the history of that particular period, otherwise we're hell-bent on repeating it, right?
For me, it like kind of certified how good Russell Crowe is, and never to underestimate him. Like 100%. He pulled this. He was just I've never seen him like this in anything that you've seen. He was really brilliant.
He's one of them actors where like you get like one performer. He's good in everything he's in. I think he's a great actor, but he's really kind of known for Gladiator and how brilliant he was in that, and the epic of that film and what he gave to that role. But I also find that now and again you'll just watch him in something, you go, such a good actor. I don't think he's going to get any awards.
No, neither do I. I really hope they do get a nod for ensemble.
I think they do. Yeah, I hope they do. But didn't he like do an interview saying where he just was like slagging off the Academy or something?
Yeah, he did.
So he's pissed everyone off and he's not going to get anything. But he's already got one. It's fine. There we are. Right, number 2.
My number 2. We have just done an episode on this film.
Okay, is yours number? Okay, yeah.
I was and ahhing whether to put this at 1 or 2, but as I said at the start of the episode,
I was
my
too.
number 1. I was kind of thinking, right, the more I wrote about it, the more I was
excited
thinking,
to
okay,
know what
I
your
need,
number
I
1
need
is, you know. I
this
wonder
is
if it's
number
mine,
1.
number 2.
Maybe it's one battle after another, if you hadn't guessed. I'm not going to go into it loads because we have just an episode on it.
I just adore it.
I just really loved this film. I thought
Brilliant.
the balance between the comedic elements and the underlying dramatic through line that just made the story feel so genuinely high stakes, and like everything did genuinely hinge on life or death. And for me, the performances, as we said before, really elevated the film. Leonardo DiCaprio, Chase Infinity, Sean Penn. I'm really rooting for Sean Penn to get an Oscar.
If you don't win an Oscar for that,
it's going to be Benicio though.
No, Sean Penn stole the show in that.
Benicio's a real front runner.
Benicio,
he was good, but
in that film, it was lucky because that was probably the funniest context in which he could be, and he got to just really show off. But Sean Penn is just dotted through the entire thing like an absolute bulldozer, and he's like the Terminator meets like he's just weird, but he's brilliant, and he's I know. Nah, he needs to win
Regina
it for me.
King, Tiana Taylor, like everyone. It's just
Regina
fab. It's
so
just
good.
won at the time of filming this. It's just won the Critics' Choice for Best Picture,
Yes,
and
yeah.
PTA won Best Director.
Yeah.
I just really love this film. I thought cinema's back after I watched this.
Yes, fully. Fully.
Yeah,
Oh, love.
That's my number 2.
Okay, well, my number 2 is Sinners.
That's my number 1.
I've never seen a film like this before. It was so refreshing to just sit there.
We saw it together, didn't we?
Yeah, we saw it together.
Yeah.
July it came out. I mean, every single element of this film individually is impeccable, but together, faultless. Like, it literally, incredible. The fact that it's shot on IMAX is so cool. The cinematography and the vividness of the colour, the set design is incredible. Like, you feel like you can feel like the heat and the sweat of like 1932 Mississippi. You feel like it's so like vivid and visceral. I just thought that was incredible. I mean, the music, the soundtrack, the score, incredible. Like, it was so genre defying is an understatement. Like, it encompassed, it's a period piece. It has, the element of the blues element to it. It's a horror. It's a vampire flick. Like, it's all of these things that just on paper should not work. The attention to detail and the historical accuracy with which you would need to pull that off was fully like, I mean, that was a job well done. And I think the thematic elements of it, I mean, you could sit here for hours and talk about this, and you could write a thesis.
My notes are quite detailed.
You could write a thesis on it. But for me, it was obviously there's the element of kind of culture erasure. And if we don't really place the cultural facets of, a particular group of people, if we don't place all of that within their hands and we continue to exploit it, then it's gonna have ramifications within the wider world that we are yet to know. And I feel like the fact that it also celebrates like African American culture as well, the music, it really reminded me that kind of music is something that grounds us within our own like cultural identity, and it's something that just allows us to express who we are as people. And the fact that it was taken away and has been taken away and exploited for the gain of oppressive forces is just something that it really kind of hones home in a way that no other film has ever done in such a way. I thought that the particular scenes that I thought, looking back, I was like, I didn't really take much notice of the first scene, but that scene where Sammy walks into the church covered in blood with the guitar, that's a metaphor right there and then about how you've got two sort of like, you've got the institution of the church with music that are two kind of cultural like pillars within, especially African American culture, and you've got this sort of like setting, this instance presented to you with him walking in, and you are immediately presented with this idea of can these two sort of like cultural elements kind of go hand in hand, one primary geared towards creativity and like the self-determination, and another kind of geared towards kind of a parameter of rules, and it's kind of that mix of which one will trump sort of thing. And it's like that just applies so well to the whole, linking it to Rocky Road to Dublin coming on. I was so shocked at that. Like when that came on, I was like, oh, this is actually saying more about, colonialism as a whole, erasure culture as a whole, that the connectivity between different people who are from completely different cultures and backgrounds, but they're binded by this sort of universal force of exploitation and colonization. And I just thought it was so incredible. The vampire element of it was like, you know,
I thought that was so random, should not have worked at all, but I thought it was so refreshingly original.
And it's also like, you know, if you're a vampire, aren't you like, it's the eternal promise of life.
Yeah.
And there's an eternal promise given by really oppressive, you know, institutions who want to exploit people for their resources and their culture and their music. There is this eternal promise of like, this is for your benefit as much as it is ours. Hence why we'll go into your land and we'll take your this and that. And there's a metaphor in that. I mean, you could like, it just, I don't know, it's like the everlasting essence of, you know, someone's cultural heritage, or is it kind of like the eternal ramifications of colonialism? Like, do you know what I mean? Is it that or that? Like, I just thought the whole use of vampires and this sort of like everlasting life sort of thing was so cool. And
it was so carefully thought out, and I really just made me think like, Ryan Coogler, you genius.
You're a genius.
You genius.
The time that must have taken.
Oh God,
the time, the dedication.
Like, if like as I say, when I watched it again, for me, I was kind of like, because I knew what was going to happen. I wasn't going into it fully blind. It made me kind of appreciate the metaphors even more and really understand them a lot more.
I know. It's like, it prompts you to just, it's hard on the audience. It makes you think. There's so many inferences can be made from every single facet of it.
Yeah.
Like, you could analyze this until you're blue in the face. I'm English lit girly, so I'm like, what does that mean? And like, what does it all mean? I just thought that combined with the music, that incredible I Lie to You scene where he's singing in the thing, and you've got all these, you know, the dancing, the sound design on it is incredible.
Yes.
The fact that scene in the Rocky Road to Dublin where you've got like the echoes of a woman singing the blues, all intermingling, the metaphors that can be drawn from that. Performances, I've never seen Hayley Steinfeld so good.
Oh my God, she was brilliant.
She was so good. Jack O'Connell props, everything about it. I just loved it. I mean, it's incredible, incredible. And I could go on about it for so long, but I feel like you've got some more points on that for your number one as well.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to follow that because that was a very intellectual roundup.
I literally... There's just so much. My brain is so full with it.
No,
so much to infer.
My number one is Sinners. I saw the trailer and I remember turning to my mum being like, not a bit of me. Because as I mentioned before, I don't really like supernatural fantasy films. Like, they're not something I necessarily enjoy. Not to say that I don't watch them, but when I saw that this started to pick up so much traction in the very early days, we watched the post-credit scene from the aisle of the cinema.
Oh yes,
because it hadn't been out for that long.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Normally we would we're like clued up on that stuff. Like, we need to stay until the end of the credits, but because it hadn't been out for that long, I think it had only been out for like a week in the UK. But because everyone was raving about it so much, it's all I was seeing. It was all I was hearing about. I was like, right, we need to go and watch this film. I was so pleasantly surprised. I think my initial reaction when they turned into vampires was, not gonna lie, it was a bit of an eye roll. I was just like, for God's sake, where is this going? However, it was done so intellectually and cleverly by Ryan Coogler. I think he maintains the whole sustained sense of suspense throughout the film. He does that so precisely, and I really think it was it's a masterpiece. The more I was writing about this, I was like, it's a masterpiece. I think the subtext was incredibly rich, as you mentioned. I left the cinema feeling like I needed to Google certain aspects to make sure I hadn't missed anything. I think that's always a sign of very thoughtful filmmaking. I think everything worked: the casting, the performances, the direction, cinematography, sound, setting, political symbolism. I think it's as I said before as well, it's so refreshingly original.
100%. I think I've not seen one battle after another. Like, those two being our top two, it's like testament to the fact that we need original stuff.
Exactly. They're so refreshingly original, and I feel like nowadays a lot of filmmakers are almost scared to really kind of lean in on that original storytelling, but I feel like these films have now been the turning point of that. I think 100%. We're going to see a lot more of kind of ambitious filmmaking.
And I think that obviously, like with the Oscars last year, that the amount of independent films that were kind of the original, you know, Anora and The Brutalist being two independent low budget films that really just use their money incredibly wisely and went with it. I think it really signaled to studios like, okay, no, these are doing well. They're rich.
People want
these, complex, interesting stories. And the fact that 6 months later we get Sinners, £100 million budget, every penny worth it. And the
It
fact
really
that Ryan
was,
Coogler
like-
is going to have the full rights to this after 25 years, I read.
Yes.
Like, it's going to be his film. I just think it's incredible.
What a good film to
and
own.
The irony of it as well, it's like, it's a film about erasure culture. And the man who has made it, an African-American man, is going to have the rights to it.
I know.
And it's all going to be his. Like, that is actually really emotional when you think of it.
No,
That
it
just
is.
pops into my head.
Very, it's like, it's very fulfilling. I came out of the cinema feeling very fulfilled. I came out of the cinema with this one in July thinking, okay, cinema's on the up. Like, cinema's back.
100%.
I think the thing that pipped it to the post for me over one battle after another is the score. I think the score and the whole music element. I love music in film.
Of course it would be.
We all know. I just couldn't get enough of it. I thought it felt very liberating. The dance sequence in particular is one of the best scenes I've seen in film in a very, very long time. As I say, I just was watching it and I kept thinking, yes, it's back. I haven't been that excited by a film in so long. It's genuinely one that people have been like, oh, have you seen anything good at the cinemas recently? I'm like, Sinners. Yeah, Sinners. I felt myself really recommending it to everyone who kind of would ask.
Same.
It's an experience as well. I really hope it does get re-released.
I think it should do.
It should.
I think it's going to stand the test of time the more the years go on.
I often think about what contemporary films will transcend and become classics, because we have the classics that we watch now that we're discovering. Like, I only watched Fatal Attraction for the first time the other day.
Nuts. I can't believe, honestly, I love
there's so many films that are known as classics, and I always think which contemporary films that are coming out nowadays are going to transcend the test of time in years to come. And I really believe that this is absolutely one of them.
I really do too. There's not many that I'm so certain of them becoming such classics, but this one, 100%.
I just think in 20 years' time, it's still going to be relevant.
Yeah. 100%.
No matter what context it's taken in.
Yeah.
No matter what's going on in the world, it's still going to be
applicable
relevant.
to so many different people from so many different places. Like, it's got, you know, the history of the blues and African American culture and the richness of what they have given to, you know, entertainment into society as a whole.
Completely.
And then you've got elements, like, obviously, like there's a depiction of like Chinese and Japanese people in it, and then you've also got the Irish element of it. And like when Rocky Road to Dublin came on, I was like, mate. And it's like Jack O'Connor's like, he's looking, his character, that Remick, is looking for that connectivity too. It's like this, it's just the amount of things you could infer from it. Like,
I know.
It's about displacement and about belonging and about, you know, what really can happen when we just don't value people for who they are.
That is my number one. What is your number one, Emily? Let's have a guess.
One battle after another. Do you know what it is though? I laughed a lot.
Yeah.
That was what tipped over the edge for me. I thought it had so many different contrasting elements to it, in the sense that it was really funny. It was really poignant and heartfelt at different points. And it was brimming with tension. The pace of it, the free-flowing sort of elegance and intelligence with which it has been made. Like, it's so, like, the not just the plot and like the character development, but like it's so but even like the camera work and the cinematography, the score, the way it was all kind of so meticulously structured. I just thought it was so satisfying to watch. Like,
yeah, it was.
Even when a certain like string of a violin would go at a certain point, you're like, oh, it needed to be there. Like, of course it did. It was just like the tension and the sort of elements of humor, the lightness of it, the dark facets of it that all kind of just came together were really, really cool. I found it laughable at some points in the end. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
I like the short, sharp quickiness of it. I think every single cast member just shone in their own light. And I thought Benicio del Toro played so well off Leo. Sean Penn's unreal. And my final point, I will say, I know we've gone on about it, but I also like the fact that these people, like, we're not looking at people who are on a journey. Like, they're just in the shit.
No,
like,
literally.
it's like they're just existing, and we get to just behold them in this kind of like semi-underground, obscure, really kind of niche, unfamiliar context.
Very niche, yeah.
And we're just like watching them just dick about, and I just thought it was really funny. I thought it was hilarious. And I think the last scene of Leonardo DiCaprio sat there taking a selfie, it just rounds it all off like incredibly. Like, you started there, you ended up there, you've gone there, and you're there.
Yeah.
And I just thought that structure was really quite funny. Great performances.
No, it is such a good film.
Great score.
We have been blessed with very good films this year.
Yeah, really have, you know.
Some honourable mentions.
Okay, go on.
Just 5.
Oh my God.
The Last Showgirl. Starring
Anderson.
Pamela Anderson. Pamela Anderson, I've never seen her in this light before, and I thought she is the last showgirl in the film, and I thought she was absolutely amazing. I loved the whole vibe of the film. I loved how it was filmed. It was like the perfect time as well. Like, it didn't feel too drawn out. It didn't feel too short. It wasn't rushed. It was just perfect. Goodbye June. I saw that the other week.
Watching that.
I really enjoyed Goodbye June. I thought, I mean, anything that Kate Winslet's in, I love. There's not been one thing that I haven't really
I was
not
obsessed,
enjoyed.
and I
I
am
think
too,
she's my favorite actress ever. Well, she's my favorite actor. Whatever she's in, I will be sat. But yeah, I did really enjoy it. I just enjoyed the fact that it was just kind of a very true story, just quite simple. The Roses, did you see that?
No,
Olivia
I
Colman and Benedict Cumberbatch. Again, easy
why
watch.
did you fancy that?
See, for me, someone who really stole the show for me was Kate McKinnon.
Oh, yeah, she's funny.
I very rarely
good.
laugh out loud in the cinema. Kate McKinnon was hilarious. She was so funny.
like her.
And again, Olivia Colman, Benedict Cumberbatch, you can't really go wrong. And then my final one is Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy.
Oh my god, why did the bloody hell did I forget about that? That should have been, that's one of my honourable mentions.
Yeah.
And as well, like, it had a perfect, I mean, it's one of your honourable mentions, but just a quick mention that that was so heartfelt and so heartfelt. So, like, detailed in certain aspects of it. I loved Hugh Grant being back.
Yeah.
I loved the whole element of, her grappling with being a single mom, having lost her husband. Leo Woodall's fit.
Yeah.
And that last scene at the end as well, when he's wearing his dad's jumper from the first.
I know. It was just, I thought it's so hard nowadays to do sequels in a world where kind of no one really wants a sequel. Everyone just wants original films. I hope they never stop making Bridget Jones, because you literally just cannot go wrong.
You can't go wrong with it. Like, even the third one, which people didn't rave about as much, I really
love that film. I love Bridget Jones's Baby.
McDreamy.
Yeah, come on. But they're my honourable mentions. I'm sure there's so many others that maybe I haven't thought of, but I think it's been a good year for
They just make you feel warm inside, don't they?
Yeah, exactly.
They do.
But
no, they're our top 5.
They're our top 5 films of 2025. We hope you enjoyed.
Thank you. We enjoyed doing that.
Yeah, we did.
I knew for a fact it was going to be. I don't know why Sinners and One Battle After Another. I knew for a fact they could be high for you.
Yeah, it's been a good year of film. I
Defo.
hope you enjoyed.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.